Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing great. I'm a little tired this morning. I don't know why, really. But today is a big day. Today is physical therapy this morning, going shortly. And then I'm seeing the orthopedic surgeon for hopefully not surgery this afternoon. And then I'm making lasagna later because tomorrow I'm supposed to have lasagna. But tomorrow is another very busy day. Stress test time. I'm not under any stress. I don't know. If you're not allowed to have caffeine, I don't think that's not stressful. So, yeah, anyway, I think that it's a little overcast today, but it's supposed to be nice. And that does determine my feelings, how I feel. I was going to say for feelings, though, I'm a little down because of news coming out of the Middle East, the things that have been going on, well, for a very long time, but most recent times, just I don't want to get political. I'm just very sad at decisions that have been made. And decisions that have been made right here about those decisions. So, anyway, the news around the world makes me sad sometimes. And we got to hold on to hope, and that's it. But anyway, I shouldn't watch too much news. I try not to, but he did just check in. So it takes me a while to bounce back. And if you're an empath like I am, it does take a while. And, but I'm good. Now, I'm going to go to physical therapy. I'll let you know how it went. I'm not looking forward to that, but when Chris was there a couple months ago, it was for his knee. So he had to do a lot of treadmill and all that. It's my arm, so I'm thinking there will be a lack of sweat. I'm hoping. I mean, it's been pre-COVID since I had a gym membership. Like, I canceled it when COVID came on. I never looked back. Hi again. So I went to physical therapy this morning, and it was pretty much as you would expect. We went over the MRI results, the report. They tested some range of motions and took some measurements comparing, both shoulders, and gave me some home exercises to start with. And that was fine. They were a little different than the ones, the general ones that I got before. So then I went to the orthopedic surgeon, just sitting here right now. I just finished this appointment and I'm still a little I don't know, I'm just reeling. I'm just like in a little bit of shock. So he does not agree completely with the person who read the MRI results. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, I'm not a medical person, but there's an opening at the shoulder cap that allows tendons and stuff to move through it, and there's a narrowing of this space. And one of the tendons is torn. Not by much, I don't think. I don't think it's a big tear. It's just a partial tear. And there's a like a bone spur. May actually be a bone spur. They may have called it something else, but this little spiky thing is like kind of a hook, and continuing to move it the wrong way, and I could create more of a tear. There's also, what he suspects is there's also a small tear on the rotator cuff. Now, we already know that there's a tear on something called the spinatus. I don't really know what it's called, sorry. And that's muscle, I believe. Anyway, there seems to be multiple things going on in there, and he wants me to get surgery. Best case, he's able to clean the bursa, which I guess that's what it is. That's part of the bursa, this little calcification. And at least that element would be gone. That's the best case. Just go in there. It was a little laparoscopic movement and one and done. But the worst case is that he finds more to repair, and then it is a very slow recovery. I hate the thought of going in there. I hate the thought of a shoulder surgery. But I did go through this like 25 plus years ago, where they thought, same shoulder, they thought I tore the rotator cuff. When they went in there, it was like, no, it was fine. It was, the MRI was totally wrong, and we were able to just clean out your bursa, and there was inflammation and everything, but now you're going to be good. I'm hoping it's a repeat of that. And if that was the case, that would be fine, because I never had another problem with my shoulder until, what was it, about April, when it started to hurt again? Yeah, sure. Maybe it'll just buy me another 25 years. Do you remember when I told you a few videos ago about everything I had scheduled this month? Tests, doctor's appointments. Well, now add the surgery, because it's going to be in just a couple weeks. Yeah, okay. So I was not expecting that. I really was not expecting that. So, and of course, this means I've got to get all kinds of blood work too. Yeah, so add that to the list. And the surgery day would be the day that I had a dental appointment. So I will have to reschedule that. And that usually takes about 4 months to get back in. Am I whiny? I'm really sorry. I definitely don't mean to be whiny. I'm just not a happy camper. All right, I just got to roll with the punches this month. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I got to go home and tell Chris. And actually, he wanted me to have it sooner. But the other date that he was available is the date I am taking Neon to their new high school to check it out. And Chris is working, so he can't do that. And I'm not gonna miss that. So it's just another week. In the meantime, I have all of these new PT appointments scheduled because they want to see me twice a week. And oh my gosh, I might as well just have a full-time job. I didn't get my nap today. That's why I'm whining. But the surgeon did say, like, he wants me to do PT for 2 weeks beforehand. And then after, depending on what actually goes on in there. I'm just concerned that if they do a rotator cuff, I'm going to be that many more months in PT, and I'm not so sure that I can really afford that financially. Was not in the plan, let's put it that way. Oh, this crazy life. So Chris wasn't with me, so I couldn't just talk to him about it. I had to talk to you about it. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you could make it. Chris has had his own busy schedule lately anyway. But he'll be with me when it counts. That'll be for the surgery. And if there is a rotator cuff tear, then he gave me the scenario for healing and that I would be in an immobilizer for a little while. Okay. So let's talk about how I became Asian. That's a much better topic. Well, Chris's mother married a Vietnamese refugee. And she became, in fact, very instrumental in helping a lot of Vietnamese people come here. So Chris's stepfather's name is Dai, D-A-I. And even though they have since divorced and she married someone else, she also has 3 children with Dai. And every year they have a Nguyen family reunion. I don't know if I ever pronounced it right, but close as I can come to is Nguyen. Nguyen. Very sweet people. And apparently Chris is Asian because he was raised by Asian people. And now I'm Asian by association, by marriage. And Chris's mom and sisters host this event every year. I've probably been to the family reunion a few times, but man, they are very social people. I was not comfortable the first 2 years. It can be very intimidating to be in this Vietnamese culture. The roles, for instance, of married couples are not quite the same as traditional American. Hard for me to explain, but like I said, it can be a little intimidating. They are very outgoing and loving and boisterous, and and then there's a language barrier. I'm not gonna lie to you. So fortunately, many of them do speak English pretty well, but they don't do it at that party. So I'm thinking that this year there was over 50 people that were supposed to be there, and I took some video and some pictures, and I really had a good time. In fact, editing this made me realize how much fun I have at these reunions. And now I recognize a lot of people and they recognize me. And so that certainly makes a difference. And I'm much more comfortable at this point. And I look forward to it. And I think editing the video to show you really solidified that for me. It made me realize that. So that's what I wanted to do. And I put this little thing together for you to show you my family. First, I have to say there was so much food. Everybody chips in, and it's always delicious. Unbelievable. And this is a greenhouse. This allows the family to swim all year long. This is the altar where they honor their loved ones who have passed on. And this is my favorite part. This is when we take the family photo. And oh my goodness, it's really an event. And you don't wear shoes in the house. By sharing this video, I'm reminded that family isn't always blood. The first few years, I was a little intimidated by Chris's family until they became my own. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And tomorrow, I'm having a stress test. Have a great day. Bye.